Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Terry's Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we're gonna talk about motherfucker the mystic houses, mysticism houses. Cause I just got an email right now, and right now I'm in full vibe this week, so I'm getting back to all y'all questions, all y'all emails, everything this motherfucking week. And right now, this is the first one right here. We're gonna talk about okay, how do I know I'm spiritually enlightened? How do I know I'm psychic? How do I know how do I can understand astrology or whatever like that? Now when we want to get to your houses or basically or whatever like that, now when we talk about anything behind the scenes, we have to look at the mystic houses, the mysticism houses. And there's only 4 houses that's dealing with mysticism. Now when I say mysticism, there's each house understands this in its own unique way. Like mysticism isn't just one thing. Mysticism is anything that's mystic. So when we talk about mystic, 9 times out of 10, it deals with the yin realm. So we're gonna have we have a left brain, right brain energy going into like when we talk about the right and left brain, and we talk about the left brain being logical and we talk about the right brain being illogical, that's not necessarily talking about if a person's super right brain that mean they mystical. No, the right and left brain is totally different than yin and yang. But the right and left brain, you can tie it down to a yin and yang aspect. For an example, the fire and the air signs represents yang, and the water and the earth signs represents yin. So when we talk about yin and yin metaphysically, it's different than how we talk about it in astrology. Like metaphysically, the yin and yang, the yang is behind us, the yang is in front, the yin is what's behind the scenes. You see what I'm saying? But when we talk about it from an astrological point of view, you know what I'm saying? They're going to say that the yang is air and fire, and the yin is earth and water. Now, when we talk about it from a metaphysic point of view, right? Yang is left brain, and yin is right brain. So, when you want to talk about it as far as astrology, now we say the 2 yang signs, they're going to be a yin and a yang within the 2 yangs, within the yang signs, and they're going to be a yin and a yang within the 2 yin signs. So that's when we start to break things down metaphysically. You see what I'm saying? Like fire will be the yang of the yangs, air will be the yin of the yangs, earth will be the yang of the yins, water will be the yin of the yins. So you see what I'm saying? A yang yang need a yin yin. You see what I'm saying? So the yang yang, and then the yin yang, which will be air, need a yang yin, which will be which will be the earth. So this is how you break them down. This is why they're the 2 thinkers and there's the 2 fillers. You have a yang filler and a yin filler. The yang filler is the fire. The yin filler is the water. The yang thinker is the air. Is the earth. The yin thinker, is the air. The yin thinker is the earth. So what happens here is I'm breaking down metaphors and shit like that. So let's get back to the hand of topic, because I don't want to get into a whole nother video. Now the hand of topic is your spiritual houses. Now your spiritual houses is the 8th, 9th, 11th, 12th. Now these are your mystic houses. I ain't meant to say your spiritual houses, but your mystic houses. Now the mysticism is gonna go into 4 different realms of reality. Now the 8th house is the house of secrets. 9th house is the house of enlightenments. 11th house is the house of unknown. The 12th house is the house of subconscious and spirituality. So off the bat, that's letting you know the 4 diverse realms of realities that's tied to mysticism. Now it's more to it, but these are your basic attributes or your basic houses when it comes to knowing if you are a mystic person or not. You're going to have planets or some type of astrological angles that's dealing with either the 8th, 9th, or the 11th or 12th house. Now the 8th house is originally the Scorpio house. The 9th house is originally the Sagittarius house. The 11th house is originally the Aquarius house. The 12th house is originally the Pisces house. So it don't matter what sign you have in these houses. Whatever sign you have in these houses, you're going to play out the attribute of that house with that sign. Because I need to beat this on people's heads. The houses rules the signs. The sign don't rule the houses. Like you're going to have astrologer say, well, the first house is ruled by Aries. The second house is ruled by Taurus. No, the first house rules Aries. The second house rules Taurus. So what happens here is the signs are carrying the attributes of the houses. The houses are life situations. These are the 12 directions God took. You know what I'm saying? It was the 360 God, when God did a circle to come down into density, to separate himself into y'all fuck niggas. That was actually that's the actual 360. So when we break down that pie of the 360 wheel, we get 12. We could ultimately get 12 portions. This is why the four elements, which is fire, water, earth, air, hold significance to the 4 archangels, hold significance to the 4 the 2 equinoxes and the solstice. If I'm even saying that right, and then it's like it's 4, because after the trinity of 3, after the sequence of 3, the last is 4. So the way you have the real number 4 is 12. That's the real number 4, and when we add it to a left brain logical point of reference, it goes back to 3. So why I say that is really like this: the sequence of 3. So the sequence of 3. When 1, 2, 3 of events come together, it become one event. So that's where we get the number 1 from. But let's say I'm talking Archangel right now. Before numbers and everything, it was 3, 6, 9, 12. It didn't go no further. 3, 6, 9, 12. And 12 wasn't even included yet in the realm of reality. Before I was even brought here into an existence, I'm part of the 12. But the sequence of 3, it was 3, 6, 9. You only could see it as 1, 2, 3, but you don't understand the concept that we're in, because from a left brain point of view and looking at it from a logical standpoint of how mankind constructed, you only could look at a sequence of 3 as being 1, 2, 3. So you can't get past 3D. So you only could do 1, 2, 3. Then you only could say 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then 10. That's a upper or lower level of the same sequence, same frequency idea again. And it's once that frequency vibrate, that's where the number systems come from. That's why the number system is tied on seconds. Time is based on second, because it came second. First was the frequency, the idea, then the soul experience, the time in it, the second. So that's when you get to 10, 20, 20, you're either going higher or lower on the same 1 through 9 frequency scale. 1 through 9 is the basic idea. And see, that's when it comes to mankind. But the numbers from a system that I come from, before it was even numbers, we didn't look at it like that. We looked at it as 3, 6, 9, 12. And then 12 came when I came, and we carried down law and justice as far as angels, right? And that's why you got so many ramifications of people calling girls thoughts, because that's the energy that's coming into the system of the actual being thought. The actual being thought is being played out in this realm of reality through the mankind species of females. So just think of all the reasons why you call somebody a thought, right? That's actually thought himself or itself, and it's just being manifested, and then that's the way we see it in this realm of reality. Somebody from another solar system, another mankind being, or another realm of reality, they may see the energy different and tie it to different other things. But in this realm of reality, in this 3D density, the energy is being forced through whatever you call a thought, or whatever description you call a thought. So when you think of a thought is an idea that lets you know it's a spirit, it's a spiritual inclination. So it's a spirit. So thought is a spirit. He's no longer a physical form. Now he wants to have a soul in a physical form. So the way he do it is by giving these thoughts, ideas, and frequencies through a physical being to be able to have a vessel in this realm of reality, right? The emotions and feelings that you gain behind having thoughts, and how you look at people that you call a thought and stuff like that, that's the soul behind it. That's how he chooses to express himself in here. And the best way he can utilize his energy for his best pleasures is through the female vessel. So now you're seeing ramifications of the actual being thought as a female that you would call a thought, or the kind of ideas that you have in your head. You see what I'm saying? That's the original frequency it strings from. But all right, as far as the fourth, like I said, 3, 6, 9, 12. Now 12 is when I came with the other three archangels before all the other angels came in and Cerebrium and all that. You know what I'm saying? This is the fourth element. This is the fourth element to the life. It was 3. The sequence of 3 was 3, 6, 9, not 1, 2, 3. It's just when you look at it as a human, it's 1, 2, 3. But as in Naram, it's 3, 6, 9. Then it's the 12. Right, then 12 is when I came. So it's the angels. It's the angels. The angels bring what? Law, justice. You know what I'm saying? And chaos and foundation into the breaking down of something and the building up of something new. Now, this is why in hip hop or a lot of realms of realities that you listen to on TV or stuff, they say fuck 12. And when somebody say fuck 12, who are they relating to? Police, cops, the judge or something like that. And what do they tie to? What? Law, justice. You know what I'm saying? So in this realm of reality, the way law, justice is constructed is by how people see with politics and laws and stuff like that. So if the energy of the angels, which is 12, if that's the energy they carry, but in this realm of reality, and this low density, this low vibration frequency, with the hertz is vibrating real low for you to have a physical form, the only way you can know how to see that energy is how the way that the energy is being perceived in this density, which who carry out the law in this density? Police, things of that nature. So if you're not spiritually inclined, you don't know where it actually came from, but you just know the inclinations of the energy that is picked up down here, and you don't even have a choice but to use certain words when you're talking about certain things, because those are the only spirits that's tied to it. And spirits is frequencies, and ideas and thought patterns and stuff like that. In this density, spirits is actually beings and stuff like that, how you can actually see it. But in this realm of reality, the vibration frequency hertz is vibrating so low, you can't see things from that realm of reality. So you only can understand it from the senses of the reality that you're in, which is your common senses: taste, touch, see, smell, sense. And the vessel that you in, the ability that it has is all you want to be able to observe. So you can't observe the spiritual world and nature the way I can, or the way how it used to be before you was in a physical form into this density. But you was there before, because you are a person who here now. So that means you always been here. You see what I'm saying? You just can't physically connect to it with this physical vessel, and you vibrating that so low, you know what I'm saying, you would never be able to see it in this physical vessel. You know what I'm saying? And just because I'm from there, I'm able to explain it, but it's still certain words and certain sound frequency vibrations that I can't use to explain it to y'all right, because these frequency sounds is diluted with into so many different programs and concepts ruled by other intellectual beings and spirit beings and stuff like that make you think what they want you to think about that sound, which a sound is a frequency which is a word or a light or a vibration. You know what I'm saying? So when you have intellectual beings who want you to think what they want you to think of that sound frequency vibration, then whenever you going around saying it, you're giving energy to that intellectual being. Perfect example, the word bitch. Now the word bitch came from the female dog. This is what we call female dogs. You don't even feel comfortable calling a female dog a bitch anymore, because whatever intellectual being took that word and put it in the realm of reality and made y'all think what it wanted y'all to think from it, it's absorbed into that energy. So anytime somebody use the word bitch or whatever like that, it's being utilized and absorbed into the intellectual. It's giving energy and paid attention and giving energy to the intellectual being who took that word and was consciously aware of themselves or knew themselves and their surroundings enough to place it in the world, to utilize it to how they want to utilize it. Now, anytime somebody say bitch, that person is always getting, or that being, that spirit, and I don't think I'm Archangel Uriel. This being is no longer living on this, no longer living in this plane of existence. This spiritual being is somewhere else right now. But this spiritual being always got ties and connection to this realm of reality based upon what this being created. And you being a being, we all got power to create. We all supposed to be here to create. We all supposed to be here manifesting. We all supposed to be here jumping in our power. But and just in this reality, the density is so low that when you do got beings such as myself or other people coming in, especially if they got negative spirits around them, and able to utilize light and sound to their liking, then of course they're going to be able to be superior over people who can't quite see things that way because of the frequency vibration megahertz that's vibrating so low. You know what I'm saying? So you can't see it, but say you get this motherfucker being who was born an indigo child or born or has some type of spirit or past life or some type of archangel who come here now, right? They vibrating high as fuck. So they understanding and seeing things in this realm of reality that normal people can't even see. So depending on their soul or their frequency or the spirits they're carrying, depending on if it's negative or positive, they got the power to steer people. So you got people like Adolf Hitler. Yeah, he was a highly spiritual being, but he used his power for negative shit. You know what I'm saying? And you got people who are able to come here that's vibrating real high to utilize a bunch of people who vibrating real low based upon the density. Like I said, me and you could be in the same 3D realm of reality right now, but be having two totally different experiences based upon where your spiritual and your soul nature is at. You see what I'm saying? We could be having two totally different experiences. We could be in the same car, same house, same street. Hell, we could be holding hands, having two entirely different experiences. But we both witnesses and consciously aware of the same shit. You know why? Because your soul and your spirit is in a different motherfucking spot than whoever you next to. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, when it comes to your to know if you spiritually inclined or if you mystic or not, you have to go look at your houses. And to know how you look at your mysticism, you have to know what actually houses is being affected. Now, your mystic houses is the 8th, 9th, 11th, and 12th. Now, you have 2 water houses, an air and a fire house. So what happens here is the 9th house is a fire house, 8th house is a water house, 12th house is a water house, and 11th house is an air house. So so if you come across a Scorpio, Sagittarius, Aquarius, or a Pisces, these people are naturally mystic people. But they mystic in separate ways. Sagittarius, philosophical, educational, broad perspective of the world point of view, and being enlightened when it comes to their mysticism. Scorpios, diving deep, seeing the behind the scenes realms of things, of situations, alternative motives, life, death, sex, occult type things. This is how they look at their mysticism. You know what I'm saying? And astrology and stuff. Now, the Aquarius, having a fixated way of thinking and communicating, analyzing, coming to a scientific agreement and humanitarian or organization type of abstract thinking or grouping, assetting with each other, or relating and communicating ideas and bouncing off each other in order to understand abstract mystic thoughts. That's the Aquarius way of doing it. Now Pisces, mutable water, being adaptable or changeable to its own or other people's ways of the emotions and feelings, and connecting to the collective conscious emotional feelings amongst things when behind the scenes realms, and connecting to vibes and energies and feelings and expressions in order to understand the spiritual realm and not just be concerned with a person saying or their actions, but what's their actual motivations behind these things. You know what I'm saying? So they all play out four different mystic ways. You know what I'm saying? And mysticism is tied to astrology, it's tied to astronomy, tied to not astronomy but astrology, occult like things, behind the scene realm things. So it's important for you to know what conditions your 8th, 9th, and 11th and 12th house is in, if you want to know what kind of mystic nature that you're going to have, or what kind of spiritual inclinations you're going to have with yourself. Because you know what I'm saying, these houses determine where your mystic nature lies at. Now, if we want to break down specific planets, let's say you have Mars in the 8th house. Mars is going to give you the ability to have willpower to transform your emotions and feelings and your emotional stance amongst things, amongst the behind the scenes realms. It's going to make you not so jealous, not have alternative motives. It's going to place your intentions in the right places. So you're able to understand karma and from a deep end, and understand how to give and receive energy on a deep end, and that's tied down to mysticism. Now, same way if Mars was in the 9th house, you're going to be aggressively, and your intentions is going to be learning and being enlightened about the experiences in your life, certain experiences that you go through, and it make you learn, because when you experience, that's putting time into something. whether it's a bad or good experience. But all experience, you're able to tie wisdom and knowledge from, and able to learn and to teach something. So you're going to aggressively do that. This is going to be your intentions. This is going to be your motivations. If Mars was in the 11th house, your intentions and motivations is going to be predicated towards the unknown, dealing with the unfamiliar, how to conduct yourself in the public arena, or dealing with unfamiliar people, places, and things. So anytime you're dealing with the unknown or unfamiliar, that's trying to wrap your head around something that's new, something that's taboo, something that's occult-like, astrology. You know what I'm saying? Something that other people choose not to think about because they think it's too far out there. So you choose to wrap your head around it, and that's your motivations. And then when Mars comes into the 12th house, which is Pisces, or just in the 12th house in general, regardless of the sign you have here, you're going to be aggressively, and your intentions is going to be to absorb yourself into other people's emotions and feelings to the point that you know how to connect. So you may aggressively connect with people. So a lot of times it may play off as clinginess, or it may play off as you trying to be there for someone. But for the most part, you aggressively diving into your spirituality, diving into your creativity, your imagination, your dreams, and your subconscious realm. And anytime somebody dive and aggressively attack their subconscious realm, they're trying to attack something about themselves. So they're trying to know themselves, trying to learn themselves. Even if they're being down on themselves or trying to uplift themselves, at the end of the day, it's learning something about themselves. So, you know, I can get into the other planets and other signs, but I don't want to make this video too long. But I just want you to know, if you're concerned about your mystic nature and your spiritual nature, then it's important to go check out what kind of energies is being withheld within your 8th and 9th house and your 11th and 12th house, because this is going to tell you everything you need to know about your mysticism. And mysticism could play out in many different ways. Like I said, astrology, learning the behind the scenes realms, occult type things, learning about the unknown, connecting with the collective consciousness, trying to understand a broad perspective and philosophical point of view of the world, and all things of that nature. And once you dive into these things, you're diving into the mystic realm. And the planets that dive into the mystic houses is going to tell you how you're going to go about these things. And the lords of the houses is going to tell you what kind of energy you should be predicating it towards. For an example, 9th house. Say your ninth house is Libra. So your 9th house is going to be ruled by Venus. So say Venus is in your 3rd house. So that means your 9th house Lord is in the opposite house, which is the 3rd house. So what happens here is, now squares and oppositions is good, positive when it comes to the houses. Now, what happens here is, you're here to take what you're enlightened about, what you're learning, your experiences, things that you're gaining, and experiencing and gaining wisdom from. And you're here to take that and teach that to your surroundings, or apply that to your surroundings, or what's familiar to you, your familiar surroundings, familiar people, places, and things. So your neighbors and things of that nature, or your close friends and things that people in stores you like to go to that's around your neighborhood, or friends you like to be with, close friends. You're here to tell them about what you're enlightened about, what you just learned, the experience you have in your life, what kind of wisdom you having. And that's when the 9th house Lord goes into the 3rd house. So you're taking a part of mysticism and applying it to people who are around you who may not be as mystic as you. You see what I'm saying? So it plays out in different scenarios and natures like that. But it's always going to be tied to your 8th and 9th house and your 11th and 12th house. So that's your if you want to know how mystic you is, go see what kind of energies your 8th, 9th, 11th, and 12th house is carrying. And then I broke it down to you also. The 8th house is based upon secrets when it comes to mysticism. So that means behind the scenes realm, you're getting cheated on, you're in the dark. As soon as you learned about you got cheated on, you're enlightened about that. That's 8th house things. Now, as soon as you get enlightened about it, you're in the 9th house. You got educated about it. You got enlightened about it. You experienced something. So now you see the broad perspective of what you just experienced. Boom, that's mystic. So that the learning and getting enlightened and being educated about something is the 9th house realm of reality, and trying to see the world from a broad perspective. The 8th house is connecting to something emotionally and being able to transform it and have a new emotional stance on it from a behind the scenes realm. You see what I'm saying? That's the mystic. The 11th house, thinking and analyzing and communicating from organizing or organizational prospect, or communicating, elaborating yourself with others with abstract thinking and trying to learn and communicate about the unknown and what's unfamiliar. That's what's going to penetrate with the 11th house ways of being mystic. And then the 12th house ways, dealing with the emotions and feelings once again, but being mutable, adaptable to others' emotions and feelings, and coming to a broad perspective of the world, of how you're supposed to have your emotions and feelings within each circumstance circumstance that's going on with the collective conscious, and not just from a selfish point of view, like if it was in the 8th house Scorpio, or not from an initiating new moods point of view, like Cancer. No, elaborating itself. Now, reason why the water sign Cancer isn't a mystic house, because this is more dealing with domestic issues and dealing with how you gain emotional stability amongst yourself or wherever you feel most comfortable at, whether that's a friend, relative house, or your own home. So this is more of dealing with issues that's close to family, more like private. Fourth house is private. 8th house is secret. The 12th house is collective conscious. You see what I'm saying? And those are the water houses. The fire houses. The first house is the house of self. The self and personal issues and personality. 5th house, the house of expression. Things you choose to entertain, whether those people, places, or things, or conversations, or whatever. And the creative and how you creatively insert yourself, whether it's romantically or things that you creatively know how to do, right? And then the 9th house is how you get educated, how you learn, how you see the broad philosophical point of view of the world as in general. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, the fire houses is the intuition houses, the visions, how you see visions. So the water houses is the psyche houses, how you get emotionally connected and how you connect to things. You know what I'm saying? The 3rd house, the air houses is the 3rd, 7th, and the 11th. The 3rd house is your basic surroundings and your familiar and short distance travels. The 7th house is how you connect with someone on a one-on-one, or how you relate to people, places, and things. And the 11th house is how you conduct yourself in a public arena and how you deal with the unknown and unfamiliar, with associates and people, places, and things that's unfamiliar. So these are the communication houses. You see what I'm saying? So you have the intuition houses, which is the 1st, 5th, and 9th fire houses. Then you have the earth, the practical houses, the common sense houses, the houses that make you stable. The 2nd house is the value house. It plants the seed. The 6th house, you work and water on that seed and schedule and detail and value and schedule and plan and water and work on that plant and that seed every day. And then the 10th house, you see that seed blossom and you're able to receive the fruits of that labor. So you're able to be known for that. That's your status now. That's your career, a full blossom. So that's basically the earth houses. The earth houses is the practical houses. So you have your intuition houses, which is the fire houses, 1st, 5th, and 9th. You have your practical and your common sense houses, which is the earth houses, 2nd, 6th, and 10th. You have your communication houses and how you communicate amongst the world, which is the 3rd, 7th, and 11th. And then you have your psyche houses, which is how you psychic, how you connect with people, which is the 4th, 8th, and 12th. And all these houses together create your life circumstances. But if you want to just know about the mystic part of your life circumstances, then you have to elaborate with the 8th, 9th, 11th, and 12th house. Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. But goddamn, here.